Davey boy.
Yo, welcome to Uselessness, voice to voice with your boy Jarvn8ion. And wait a second, Davey boy.
Davey boy.
And look, appreciate you first off for letting us be able to hop on here and chat with the legendary one.
Oh, too kind, legendary. I don't know about that. I'm probably like a 1-star gold.
Nah, you might be like a 4-star gold. I think is how it would be. I'm still the 1-star gold. This is me. This is who I am. I'm John Cena. I'm the 1-star gold. John Cena is who I am. Don't nobody want me. They just leave me on there because they don't have a choice.
At least 2-star bronze.
Okay, I take that. At least, yeah, that'll be good, dude. I appreciate that.
Oh
now,
my gosh.
You know, at some point we're gonna have to talk about the inevitable, but I want to have a little conversation beforehand, kind of about what was happening and when you were around in the game.
Okay.
So, what I want to start off with first is, dude, you're all over YouTube. I mean, you're like freaking Iron Man. You're throwing up like 40-minute YouTube vids and 35 an hour and 8 minutes. I mean, you're in it for the grind, dude. Like, how long have you been posting on YouTube?
I want to say I started last year around, I will have to check the first videos for reference. I want to say around April-ish, because I've always wanted to get into streaming gaming. I love games. I know I have like a funny, witty personality, and I know there'll be people who would like to see me, comment on games and whatnot. At the time, I think it was Lil C that I knew of and Gerson who were, putting out content. And I was like, this can't be that hard. Like, you just play the game, you talk, whatever. So I would have to say, around April last year, I decided to take a stab at it. Like, those first few videos were kind of rough. Like, I had to try to find my rhythm, get my bearings, in terms of production value of the layout of how things looked on the screen and when to talk, if to have sound effects, if to have music, the game music and all that kind of stuff. So it was like a nice little learning curve. So I'd say about April last year.
Well, you've had that much time in the game. Has it all been WWE champions?
No, I would say coming down to the later months. More recently, I tried my hand at like some PlayStation games, some other mobile games, because I was trying to diversify myself to reach a broader market. Because originally when I started streaming, my intent was in some fashion or capacity, be associated or partner with Scopely in some form where, I could put out more content, more engaging content, behind the scenes type stuff, giveaways, yada, yada, yada. So I was basically, I had a plan to build a portfolio of content, get as many followers as possible, that kind of stuff. But then I realized that, I did a lot of talking with Gerson in terms of, what does he do to get himself out there as a gamer, like what companies, affiliate programs and all this type of stuff. And it's like really hard. And compared, I'm like a small guppy compared to him in terms of subscribers. I think he's like up to 9K the last time I checked, if I'm correct. And he was like, they don't even really consider him. He's still considered very small because he's in a niche market. So I was trying to diversify myself out of that niche market so I could at least have like, let's say people who like Champions, people who like PS4, people who like this game, that game. But because the majority of my demographic I got from Champions, like the views I get on those other videos are nowhere near as close to the views I get on Champions videos. So I may just have to stick in this lane of wrestling. And if I do post more videos, like try other games, like maybe 2K19, or I was toying with the idea today of, you ever played WrestleMania 2000 on the N64?
Nah, see, I was a Sega guy, so I had Raw is War. Raw is War with The Rock and Stone Cold on the cover.
Okay. I didn't know Sega had wrestling games. I thought it was just PlayStation and Nintendo.
Nope, Sega had one. But
just the one.
Yeah. After that, it was all PlayStation, bro.
Okay, yeah. So I was thinking of like probably getting an emulator or something that I could just have those matches playing and I do commentary. Try to find other ways to possibly get out there. So that's yeah. So not only champion stuff. In the last 2-3 months, I took a stab at other games.
Yeah, because I noticed I about had a heart attack because it was talking about you were trying out Marvel Strike Force, and I was like, whoa. I was like, what is this? Is Hell Freak over or something? Like, I was so confused.
That I don't know if I'm jumping ahead here, but that stemmed from, I don't want to prematurely answer any questions you may have, but me toying with Marvel Strike Force was trying to find another fun distraction because I was getting kind of frustrated with the game, Champions.
Oh, yeah.
So I was trying to find, okay, what can I find to supplement that could keep me sane until they get this game that I love so much right? But I'm not a big Marvel fan like I am a big wrestling fan. So I only did like 2 videos for that and I was good on it.
Because I saw you doing it and I was like, man, should I give it a chance? And then because, I know quite a few people. Clearly, and I'm not saying this is everybody, but most of the people I know who like wrestling, they like Marvel and Capcom and stuff like that. So, they were always, everybody I knew heard of Marvel Strike Force, or I think that other Marvel game that was almost like I guess you'd say Tekken or something like that. And nobody heard of Champions, and I was like, well, hold on, wait a second. I was like, how do you know this game, but you don't know Champions? Like, it makes no sense. But I was kind of thinking about trying it, and then I was like, man, nah, I can't do it. I was like, I have invested so much time. It's like I would just feel bad if I tried anything else.
You feel like you're cheating?
Game. Yes, exactly, man. I think right now I've literally played around 500. When does it start? It ends at like 540 and then it goes back to 400, right?
Really?
It does. Yeah, it does something like that. Once you get up to like 500 days, it splits back down to like 450 or something like that, and then it starts counting the days again. And then but I'm on like, I've got to be close to 600.
Dang,
I swear,
bro.
I feel like it. I swear I feel like it, man.
You've never missed a day since you started playing?
Wow.
Nope.
I have not. And so, it was bad because I was like, man, I at least want to just get those free health packs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I try to jump on, but if you're trying to expand your portfolio and things like that, clearly if they're saying that, Gerson is still small and you're like a little tadpole, then I'd have to be like the semen of a mosquito.
That's funny. Got it.
Is there any advice that you might be able to throw out to either me or just people who want to start doing the podcast and all that?
I would say you have to be a good conversationalist, which is something you are clearly good at, like knowing when there's dead space, how to bridge the gaps between questions. Like Vengeful is really good at that. I suck at podcasting by myself. I'm more the color commentator. So along with good conversation skills, I would have to say knowing your guests, asking pertinent questions or maybe not asking generic questions, like have some sort of a knowledge of them. Like when we are having potential guests on the show, we would create like a separate chat group where we maybe like talk to them a little bit back and forth for like a week or so. That way we have an idea of them, have a rhythm. So when we do actually have the podcast, it's not like, we're just twiddling our thumbs. What else? I would have to say you'll have to know when to cut it off, because if it's too short, you leave people wanting more. If it's too long, it's like, we're tired of you, shut up already. So, know when to call it quits, and if you need to, like, split it up into parts. Other than that, if you're going for the visual aspect, like what we do with the DVO podcast.
Yeah, man. Freaking it. I mean, I feel like I'm watching a movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. My whole thing doing that, I was like, okay, if we're going to do a podcast, it has to be different. I know for podcast, people are either just listening, or if you're watching, you're just watching a bunch of people in a room talking. And I'm like, okay, this is a mobile game. I don't think anyone is going to want to see us every week per se. They're coming to the podcast to hear about the game and to watch the game, I would assume. So I decided to put up, gameplay of characters I would not usually play, or, kind of kill two birds with one stone, doing my daily and then have it recording the podcast at the same time. So I figured that would be a good, nice little touch for people who may not have even heard of Champions, to see what the game is about while we're talking about it.
Now, talking about being different and all that, where did the old retro music come from with Darcy D?
My God. Okay. Oh man, how did that start? So I was on a live stream one day, and I wish I remember who it was, but somebody came on and was calling me Darcy D. I love you, Darcy. You make such great content. I was like, my name is Davey D. How do you mistake Davey D for Darcy D? And it was just hilarious to me, because I felt it was karma, because when Jeff was on the podcast, I called him out of nowhere. I just started calling him Juicy Jeff. And that name is
Juicy J.
Yeah, that name has stuck with him in the office. So I was like, this is karma. I'm Darcy. And
Darcy.
The more I thought about it, I was like, okay, this character could be like a fun alter ego, like a retro dial-up modem type thing. And I just went with it. It was no real rhyme or reason or strategic thinking. I was like, okay. And I was like, let's give him like a little Mexican type vibe, like, hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Darcy. Like talking
and
really.
That's what I was just about to ask you about. That was, is that why you wear the lucha mask, man?
Oh, the lucha mask. Okay, that's a whole different entity. How did that start? I think, okay, on my Facebook feed, there's this guy called Mr. Mask Man, and he makes like all these replicas of these famous luchadors. And at the time, I was really into Lucha Underground, and I loved Pentagon Jr. So he had the mask up, and I reposted it on my Facebook, like, I want this. This is so awesome, yada yada. Well, like a few weeks later, it was my birthday, and my wife, then girlfriend, like surprised me with 3 of the luchador masks. I was like, yo, this is so dope. And this was before I actually started streaming. So I was like, okay, I could probably use this to really stand out in my videos, because you see Gerson's face, you see Mark's face. And I remember back when I thought wrestling was quote unquote real, I always wanted to know what Kane looks like. And one of the intrigues for me with Kane is like, if I could just see what was under that mask. And I knew out of human curiosity, everyone would want to know what it would look like without a mask. So if I added that layer of intrigue, it will be, it will also, besides the intrigue, it will also be the thing of identifying myself. Because if there are like 10 champion streamers, and for some reason you can't remember my name, you can say, oh, just look for the guy who wears a mask. So it was really for like a identifying type thing for me.
Because see, this is my problem. If somebody's trying to look for me, they're gonna be like, oh, look for the white guy with the beard. Oh, really? Really? The white guy with the beard? Let me pull that up and see 13,000 people on it.
Yeah. Because go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, man, go ahead.
I was going to say, I got that from the painter Bob Ross. Yeah, so I recently found out that he actually hated his big hair, from if the internet is true. It's like he really hated his big hair, but he kept it because it became like a marketing moniker for him. Like people knew him because of his hair. So I was like, okay, I need something that people know me because of.
like the chia pet. The man's got his
Yep.
own chia pet.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So you think we might see like a Darcy D chia pet with the lucha mask?
If licensing permits, if the check is right, I'll consider it.
Hey, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey, woo! I don't know what happened. I started wigging out. I was like, dang, Bob Ross has done like tapped into my phone. I could hear him. I could hear him saying, "I'll paint you a picture."
Yeah,
But,
happy trees.
yeah, let me show you one. Look, have you had any strange requests of people to like doing the game? I guess maybe interviewing people, or has anybody ever up and was like, "Hey, do this"?
The the only one I could think of, I don't know, man. Okay, so I have to consider the fact that we have international viewers and there's people of other cultures. So
Yeah.
there's this one guy. He loves the way how I say his name. Like I would say it like with a real. I almost said it, but I don't want to put him out there. I would say it with a real funny inflection, and he'd be like, "Yes, yes, I love it so much. Do it again." But the way he would always ask me to do it, and the way he would respond, it sounded like he would be getting off to it, and I would feel like really kind of weird. So I would say that's about the weirdest thing. But for the most part, my viewers are really chill, really silly people.
But I mean, didn't you just say if the check was right?
No. There's some things you can't put a price on. Nope.
Oh, I can hear it now. I can hear it now. Your woman walk in and be like, "What is going on?" I'm talking to Jake from State Farm. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, yeah. Okay,
Like,
Jake from State Farm.
He sounds hideous. She sounds hideous. Yeah, that's what I could see. I mean, luckily, being that I'm still coursing through the mosquitoes' reproductive organs on the whole YouTube world, I hadn't had anybody like do that to me yet. And I've been sitting here thinking, I was like, man, you know, D and G and all them have had to have some kind of weird stuff, especially if you've been doing it for a while. I mean, you got the. I don't know, man. This sounds weird, but I mean, it's just like Slater says, I got kids. So if that check's right, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I might let a nip slip if the check is right.
Facts. Nips for tips. That's what I tell them in the club. Now, you always play with different characters when you're doing, you know, either the hell modes or just in general the dailies. Is there somebody that you absolutely can't stand to use?
Oh man, that I can't stand to use? Oh boy. I feel like it's been ages since I played the game. Who did I not really like at all? Well, the characters that were really trash, like they're fixed up, like Outlaw, Undertaker.
Yes.
Dang. I would have to say Edge. Before I quit, I got Edge, and his moves have zero flow. Zero. But Tajoli, if I'm saying his name right, he plays him where he equips that moves that turns protect gems into multiply gems. So I equip that prop and I hit that move, and it kind of makes him a little bit more viable, but he is trash.
Now, apparently, I think somebody was saying, again, if the internet was true, that he's actually pretty doggone good at 4-star.
I don't know.
I mean, but this is my thing. I'm sitting here, and this is just my luck, man. Like, as soon as I thought I was starting to get good, they dropped these 4 stars, and I'm like, mother freaker, I'm back to square one.
I know the feeling, yeah.
Dude, like, it was so bad. Well, you know, if you can think back this long to, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, what was your favorite player?
I would have to say it would be a tie between my 4-star Undisputed Future and 4-star Deadman, because with the Undisputed Future, like, you know, he can spit out so many purple gems turn one with a raw tag, and, you know, a match could be over like that. He's great for farming. You don't really have to use health packs. But with Dead Man, he's a bit more strategic, and you can play in multiple ways. Vengeful recently taught me playing him with the Yellow Silence gem move, the Choke move, and the Trap gem move. So that's a really good defensive build. The other way I like to play him is with ZKO and Stone Cold on him, and that, like, for 7 turns he's doing 50k damage. So I mean, yeah, if they had the chance to fix his health steal move, I think he would have been my all-time favorite. But yeah, it's a tie between those two, depending on if I want a quick play or a strategic play.
Now, I'm clearly just agreeing with you because, one, I don't have either of them.
Oh, and man.
2, I don't have a 4-star. So, I mean, way to crap in that bag and put it at my doorstep. You know what I mean?
Trick or treat.
Yeah. Hey, let me light this thing on fire. And I hear, David boy, as he just runs off. And I'm like, oh, that doggone Dave.
Oh, man, now, I'm sorry.
Look, no, it's good, man. You know, I'm still working up to it. If there's one thing Scopely knows, I swear, man, I feel like they have watched my video about the Phenom at 4-star. Because, you know, I'm sure near about everybody was able to play in, like, that little 4-star
beta
server.
Yeah.
Yeah, that beta. And, dude, I don't know why I caught the biggest freaking chub for Phenom.
Oh,
and
me too.
Dude, let me tell you something. That's all I could talk about. And doggone if, like, the last 3 or 4 events, they hadn't had some form of powerhouse taker in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you mother freakers, quit watching my goddamn videos and trying to steal my money.
Oh my God, I love him so much. Oh, yeah.
Like, do you have the powerhouse taker?
I don't. I want him so bad. If it's one, I don't want Eddie. I don't want Razor. I don't want Dusty. I don't want anybody but Phenom. He's just so dope.
Yeah, dude. Like, I absolutely loved it. Now, being that you're, you know, doing what you're doing now, if you were to come back and they were like, hey, we want to put you in the game.
As a character?
I got 2 questions for you. 1, would it be you or would it be Darcy? And 2, what kind of class would you want and what type of moves would you want?
Okay. If it was me, I would be a showboat. What kind of moves I would want? Are there any showboats with like a health steal moves? No, I don't think so. Not no health steal. Just heal gems, I believe. Yeah, I would be a showboat that steals health, makes health, and what would be my finisher? Probably a bleed move. I don't know. I kill you with gem damage. So I steal your health, I make my health, and then I kill you with bleed moves and gem damage. And then if it was Darcy, he would definitely have to be a trickster. All trap gems. He has a move that makes the first 6 rows all trap gems. If you break them, if the opponent breaks them, they turn into blast gems. If I break them, they turn into botch gems.
See, that would be a legitimate character. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds like not only would it be fun to play with, but like people wouldn't have a problem with.
OP is all heck. That's what it would be.
I mean, it doesn't matter though. I mean, that's what they need to do. They need to just take all the restrictions off and be like, yo, if you can pick one character and you can make them how you want. And they just give you a list of options you can do, almost like a build-a-tune. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be legit. Now, if it wasn't you or Darcy that was being put in the game, would there be a tag team or somebody else in the wrestling world, whether past or now, that you'd want to have put in there?
Do they have to be WWE or?
Nope, anybody.
I would have to be a mark and say Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix. because they're brothers, they're luchadors. Pentagon would probably be, I want to say, a technician. I may not be right in saying that. Either a technician or a striker. And Phoenix, definitely an acrobat. Tag team bonus, I would start them with like maybe either like a 2 MPs type deal, or maybe submission moves last longer, or a gem damage debuff type thing.
Yeah, that don't sound bad. See, I've always wanted to, and I know it sounds so freaking cliche, but I've always wanted to see like Kenny Omega in here, or Cody Rhodes, not Stardust.
Oh, Cody Rhodes, yeah. I can see that.
And I mean, and just to show you how deep the roots run, I mean, I went to work this morning and I was wearing my Cody Rhodes American Nightmare shirt with him with the cigar in the mouth. And doggone, when I walked in, my brother-in-law was wearing his Cody Rhodes Bullet Club shirt. And I was like, whoa. I was like, what the heck, man?
That's dope.
I mean, yeah. Now, is there any people that you know in real life, or I guess you'd say you could admire, that play this game? Like, I mean, does your wife play?
She used to play. When we first started dating, I put her onto it because I was trying to find stuff in common for us to do together. She used to be in Tuvement with me, but with her work schedule and whatnot, it got kind of busy for her, so she just let the game die. She didn't even finish her Shane contract. I was like, no, give me your monies. But
yeah, for real.
Outside of her, I haven't met anyone in real life from this game.
Now, and I don't know if you found this out, man. Like, I know in some of the factions I've been in, you know, everybody all over the world's playing it. But like, I just realized last week that somebody I was in a faction with was actually, they had relatives that lived, I mean, 30 minutes from where I am. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
And yeah, because I mean, you hear all the time, well, not all the time, but you do hear that, you know, sometimes people are able to, you know, find each other from the game. I mean, has there been somebody that you've always wanted to meet from the game?
I wouldn't say there has been anybody I always wanted to meet. I have some really cool connections and friendships with Vengeful One, obviously. Then there's 62 Mass. We call ourselves the Triad. So it's us three. I would love to meet Jeff, the game designer, not because he designs the games, but because he's a really cool guy. If you get to know him, he's a really chill, witty, laid back kind of person, like just to know in life outside of the game. I would have to say also probably Calvin. Besides being a great leader, he's also been a great friend to me, you know, confiding him and stuff. And then I would also have to say Rev. I don't know what I forgot the name of. It's his faction called Bourbon and Booty. He started a new faction. I know it has something to do with alcohol and butts.
Bourbon and Booty, B&B, baby.
Yeah, so it'd be like those four guys I would be up for meeting.
Well, you know, the one thing about Cal is, you know, he's been with EXE for so long, and it's almost like a staple, I guess you'd say. Just like, I don't know if you remember Stu when, you know, a year ago or something like that, you know, before he started the Uselessness faction and all that. I mean, Stu came up to me and was like talking to me, and then I'd say something about Stu, and it's like, they would be like, what? You talk to him, or you know him? And you're just like, well, yeah. I mean, why don't you? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's just, it's funny how there's this this tier of people that you see, and it's just like everything else. Like, you have the travelers and the nomads, and then you got these people who are just tried and true. I mean, like a good example. Did you know Bob?
I know him by screen name, but not personally per se.
But like Bob always told me, he was like, man, you know, I'm EXE through and through, and like that motherfucker's not lying. Like, you know, that he bleeds them like I bleed Duke Blue. for the Blue Devils. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's so cool just to see the dynamics of like how some people can play, either being a nomad, like either I guess you say chasing rewards, or like some of them want to stay for the camaraderie and all that. If now there's a part in this section right here, as my dog's actually going crazy because what just happened was I kicked over a stick, and now she's just wigging out, which is perfect because I was actually doing my shotgun questions next.
Okay.
And all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to give you a question. I'm going to give you two options, and then I'm going to have you pick between these two, but you got to do it super quick. Like, you got a second and a half, whatever comes to the head first.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Do I get to give an explanation why, or just answer?
Yes, you can give an explanation. I can do that for the illustrious Double D.
All right, let's go.
Okay, first one: Xbox One or PS4?
PS4. What kind of question was that? PS4,
Dude,
hands down.
I am a converter from PS to Xbox.
What?
Yes, sir.
When did this treachery occur?
Yes, sir. Hey, man, I played it. I played Xbox when I was younger. You know, when it first came out. I guess it was what? If I'm 29 now, I guess Xbox probably came out in the early 2000s or something like that, or maybe in the late 90s. And I did have a PlayStation. I did have a PlayStation. Then I went to Xbox, and then when I got to college, I had an Xbox. Then I had the PS3 because in PlayStation it was free to play online. And then once, I don't know, man, when 360 came around, I grabbed that 360 dog, and I ain't let go since. I mean,
wow.
I've been getting it in on that thing. I mean, what makes you like the PS4 so much?
To be fair, okay, so I've always been a Nintendo guy growing up my whole life. NES, N64, GameCube, Wii, and I used to get my Game Informer subscription, and all the dope games would either say Xbox or PlayStation, and I felt like I was missing out with Wii. I would be ticked off because I knew once I saw a dope game, it's not going to be on Wii. So I went to GameStop. Yep. I was like, should I get a PS4 or Xbox? And at that time, the Xbox Red Ring was a thing. So I was like, you know what? Let me not play myself with my hard-earned money. Let me just get a PlayStation. So to be fair, I've never really given Xbox a chance. I've just been PlayStation all the way.
Now, I'll give you a funny story about that Red Ring. I had an Xbox 360 for 5 or 6 years. All of a sudden, I'm playing, and it does that Red Ring.
Oh, no.
I mean, now, you know, I had all that data and stuff on there. I kid you not. And if this doesn't prove that there is a God, I don't know what does. I laid in bed that night and I said, Lord, please let this thing work so I can get my stuff off.
Yeah.
I kid you not. I left it unplugged for 3 days. And when I came back and I plugged it in, the Red Ring was gone, and it worked for 2 more years before I sold it.
Bruh, on the 3rd day it rose from the grave.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I know, man. I was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, there's no doubt. If there's a doubt anywhere, there shouldn't.
That's inspirational.
So, hey, now, look, Champions or Strike Force?
Champions. No discussion. Champions.
Strike Force was it just wasn't your cup of tea.
No, it was a fun distraction, but nah.
Now, I have a feeling we might clash on this next one, but I've got to ask it. Apple or Android?
Android? Like, what?
Thank gosh.
You thought it was an Apple, dude?
Dude, I don't know why, man. I think it was something about that Lucha mask. I was just like, he's got to be Apple.
I'm too fancy. No, I think Apple is overpriced and they underdeliver on what they do, man.
Thank you. And they're completely unoriginal. They take everything from Android and just tweak it 0.5%.
Exactly. Android all the way.
Now, I know you use the computer a lot when you're
Hmm.
doing this, because I mean, when you're playing and all that. So,
Hmm.
would you prefer a mobile or a PC game?
I would have to say mobile. Mobile is more intuitive in terms of like you just tap here, point here. With PC, I could never get into the whole playing with a keyboard and mouse type thing. It just feels so cumbersome.
Yeah, World of Warcraft here. That was one of my cup of teas back in college too, man. And like that thing,
Ah.
bro. Yeah, you want to talk about? You just see a screen. Me and my roommate played it, and I would have two bars at the bottom of my World of Warcraft thing. And when I look over there, he was like one of them hardcore ones that had already been playing for 8 or 9 years. So
Mm.
that dude had like 5 columns on the bottom that went from one side of the screen to the other. And I was just like,
Jeez.
dude, what the heck is? I was like, what the heck is this? He was like, oh, this, and this. I'm like, okay, have fun with that.
Right.
So, so look, what do you think about Duke Nukem or Diablo?
I know nothing of Diablo. I kind of grew up on Duke Nukem, so I'll have to go with the Duke.
Now, was I the only one? Was I dreaming this? But wasn't there some kind of thing talking about John Cena was going to be in like a Duke Nukem movie or something?
I never heard of that.
Maybe I was, bro. I swear, I thought it was something like that.
That's news to
Now,
me. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The dude's looking pretty ripped since he's working out with Jackie Chan. He honestly looks like he could be Duke Nukem right now.
Oh, for real?
So, yeah, dude, have you not seen him?
Nah. I'm gonna
Bro,
Google it right now.
I promise you, he has lost 20 pounds, but he looks like he's twice as swole.
No way, John Cena. Do I put in John Cena, Jackie Chan, or John Cena 2018?
I guess John Cena 2018 because apparently he's doing a movie with Jackie Chan.
Yo, he is ripped. What the freak?
Dude, I know, man. I know.
Oh my! I need to
What?
post this in the chat room. What the heck?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Now, do you prefer action or comedy movies?
Action. I'm a child of the 80s. Action all the way.
So, Sylvester or Arnold?
Arnold. I mean, Rambo is cool, but it's just something of get to the chopper. I mean,
Yeah, everybody get out of here. Do it
I'll,
now.
I'll be back.
Ah,
I mean, come
yeah.
on, come on.
Yeah.
Arnold.
And just, dude, Arnold, and still at 70 years old, that dude still got like 20-inch pythons.
He can bench more
I
than me
mean,
any day of his life.
now, do you like soccer or football?
Well, you see, where I come from, we call soccer football. So I will have to say soccer, for the American audience. But for my European and Caribbean people, football.
Where are you from?
Barbados.
Barbados. I've never been there. Always wanted to go though.
You won't regret it. Crystal blue water, white sand is heaven.
Well, are you in the States or are you like where are you at?
I'm in America. I'm in North Carolina.
Shut the hell up, man.
Why?
I'm in North Carolina.
No way. Which part?
Dude, I'm right by Raleigh.
Oh, I had a friend. I live in Concord. I had a friend who lived in Raleigh from college.
You're right by Charlotte.
Yeah, like 30 minutes or so from Charlotte.
What the dump?
You didn't get too much of the storm, did you?
Man, I mean, we got a whole lot of flooding.
Mhm.
It was nothing like it was on the coast.
Oh
I
man,
mean,
it was brutal. Yeah.
yeah, man. My parents have a beach house down in between Jacksonville and Wilmington,
Hmm.
and we actually didn't get a whole lot of stuff wrong with our house. But if you went like 15, 20 miles in, we actually have a guy that had insurance that does insurance that has a house beside ours,
Yeah.
and he deals with a lot of the farmers in the Burgall, Wallace area, all down that way.
Yeah.
And man, all you saw was just like chickens and hogs that had drowned.
Jeez, that's terrible.
And
Dang.
yeah, I mean, they got it pretty bad, man. And we're trying to do a few like hurricane relief stuff
Right,
up
right.
there at our hardware store and other places, man, because like they legitimately need it. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, we didn't get hit with nearly what we thought we were.
Yeah,
Did
same
y'all get
here.
anything in Concord?
No, we just got a lot of rain. There was some flooding, but nothing too drastic like what was forecasted.
Yeah. Now, this is kind of switching gears a little bit. Would you rather have Adam Sandler or Chris Rock in your movie?
Definitely Chris Rock. Chris Rock. There's just something about Chris Rock. I know Adam Sandler does like the funny characters, the voices and stuff, but as a black man, there's just something about black humor I connect with more. So definitely Chris Rock.
If you watch that Netflix movie that Adam Sandler made a week before the wedding or something like that,
Hmm.
you need to watch that. It has him and Chris Rock in it, dude.
Let me
Freaking
add it to my
hilarious.
list. A week before the wedding.
It's called The Week Of. That's what it's called. The Week Of.
Okay, the week of. Adding it
Now,
right now.
do you like Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Ah, this is a hard one. Thanksgiving, you got all the food. Christmas, you got all the presents. But I can't eat presents, so I'm gonna have to say Thanksgiving.
Now, Jarv or Gerson? I'm sorry, hold on. Gerson.
I'm sorry, buddy. I have to go Gerson just based on the fact of I know how hard it is to put out content, and he puts out content consistently, even with a
All
kidney
the time.
stone. Like that takes so
All the
much
freaking time.
more than once a day. I mean, like, so based on work ethic alone, I would give it to Gerson. Based on personality, I would give it to you hands down.
Well, I'll take a split with G. I'm not mad at that at all. I'll take that. So I mean, a big yeah. I might be the little mosquito on the pond, and he might come up. He might come up and gulp me in his mouth. But for a second, we were equals.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, did did you if you could pick between Grimm or Haven, who would you have picked?
To join, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Haven, so I have to go Grim based on Rev. Rev was a cool guy at the time he still is, but at the time when he was in Grim, he was always nice to me and vengeful when we were in Tuvman, a little no-name faction. So based on relationship, I would say Grim.
Now, did you and Stu ever? I mean, did y'all ever cross paths much?
I only knew Stu when I joined Execution and I got a Uselessness server invite. Other than that, I didn't know Stu at all.
Is it really true what they say that when you go to that Uselessness server, you're completely useless?
I don't know if that's true, but I heard they named the server after you.
I hate everybody there. I hate everybody there. Look, in honor of the past event that we had, I got to ask you, who would you rather have, RKO Randy or $1 Million Man? Because let me tell you something. The reason why I put this on there is because I went from having zero of any of those.
Mm-hmm.
All Randy Orton was for me was 2-star bronze. I didn't even have $1 Million Man. By the end of the event, I was able to 3-star silver RKO and still have 400 TP left over.
Jeez.
And with $1 Million Man, he's 2-star gold because I was able to use the shards or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I have close to 500 of his stuff now.
Good God. I would have to say $1 Million Man based strictly on farming ability, and he makes verses very quick. If you can find somebody to farm with him versus him and IRS will make it go by like in an hour or so. So that's really helpful.
Now, the whole reason why, we're getting together is, it's almost like the Undertaker's last ride tour. I mean, you were retiring, you want to take a break, and that's understandable. So if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind getting into a couple of these questions. If you want to answer them, you can. If not, I understand. It's whatever. But I'm wondering, what was the tipping point in the game that you were just like, F it. I don't even want to do this anymore.
Oh man, it wasn't just one thing. It was like a perfect storm of things. So for the entire year and a half or so I was playing, I was stuck at a wall in verses around like 1,000. If I was lucky, I would get to 1,300. If I was even luckier, like maybe tip over to 1,400, but then I'd go to sleep and wake up and then I'm under because I got attacked.
And you have 900.
Yeah, some crazy like that. Yeah. So it's like, versus is where you get all your TP, your tokens and whatnot. And it's like, for that whole year and a half, like fighting tooth and nails, like if I could only get Undisputed Future or somebody really great, I could break past and get to the 5,000 range where you get like the 3-star tokens, if I'm correct, I can't remember and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I was finally able to get 4-star tough from the D9 event. It's like, this is awesome. So I had to spend.
Which you deserved it, man. Like for real, cause
I
like
appreciate it.
Like whenever I saw, like I'd be watching your videos, man. You could kind of see disappointment in your face, like when you were going cool. You know what I mean? Like I'd be looking, I'd be like, dang, man. Like double D, man. That dude is scarred.
Rough in these streets, yeah. So I finally got him, spent another like week or two trying to climb up. I was like, I thought, once I got him, I was able to pass the 1,300 range up to 2,000, 3,000. So, within like 2 weeks or so, building up the TP and coin I needed to max him out. Then once I got him maxed out, the thing was, okay, well, now you need to get steel on him, because with steel is like turn one and versus is just like a cakewalk. So I was finally able to get steel. I think the event before this last one, I forgot what it was. I got him on like a key pull or briefcase pull, something like that. I was like, man, I just got to get him to 5K and put him on tough, and everything is easy peasy. So when I finally got him to like 2-star gold, is then they introduced like the whole mixed tag thing. And I'm like, what the hell is this crap? Like, I have no problem with the female wrestlers. It's like, I don't like being forced to play. Well, what I felt was like I was being forced to play a mode that I spent so long trying very hard to be a viable part of. And then as soon as I got there, like they just like F the rules and just changed everything. And if I wanted to be viable in versus again, it means like basically starting over with like a 1-star gold Alexis or whatever it was. And if you're not a whale per se, like you're not going to get a 3-star whatever, furthermore a 4-star anytime soon to compete in a mixed tags versus. So I went like maybe 2-3 weeks without being able to do versus, which meant 2-3 weeks of no TP, coin, tokens. All of these are important resources for leveling your roster. So that was a frustration. So it's like, fine, I don't need to really play versus. I guess I could farm other places. Then it was the whole invasion. I hate invasion with a passion. I know some people love it. That's fine. But when you're in a competitive faction like Execution and they have rotations and whatnot, it was just becoming too much. All the back and forth, skip to my loo. If you play invasions, if you play it was like it didn't really feel stable. I was like, okay, I don't have to play invasions. It's not for me. What else? Then I just realized is like, the daily tours when in the hell modes, say like for like the powerhouse hell mode, I would usually have like lucha dragons, and that would really help a lot. But because now it has to be like a male and a female, and then the lower the tag count to 3, is like I'm getting slaughtered again, and I have to waste health packs and coins, whereby before it was somewhat more viable with the tag team that I spent so long building up. So like all of these little things. And then the game started to not be fun anymore for me because of it, because I was harboring like all these little resentments. Like even in the current event, which I thought was good in terms of how they like what I felt, they lowered the gap between milestones, making it a little bit more easier for you to get vaults and stuff. Like, I didn't even really care or enjoy the fact that, you know, I could possibly get a gallows. So I was like, yeah, it's not fun anymore. I should just probably just quit, call it quits. So it was a number of things.
Well, I can tell you my luck on this. So I finally got 6 3-star golds in 1 week. And that was the week before. And that was the week before they introduced the 4-star bronze.
Apologies.
I was like, okay, whatever. I messaged Scopely, and I hadn't heard anything back because I don't know if it was just me thinking wrong or what, but I could have swore that when you did like the last 10 levels in gold, it was a higher cost per level.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
And so I messaged Scopely and I was like, hey, just wondering, I just got these 6 3-star golds, and I noticed that once you've got 4-star bronze, I can go all the way up on my 3-star gold for the same price as what my 3-star silvers were. I said, I think that there's been a price drop. I said, so does that mean I'm going to get a refund on the coins that I just used?
Nope.
Nope. They didn't even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
So
sounds about right.
This was my thing with the women's tour. The first day it dropped, I was like, bump it, man. You know, if I've got to get ahead somewhere. So I went and I did a $29.99 one is. I pulled in the same one, in the same batch. First off, didn't understand why it was a women's mega pool, but they had men in it too.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Yeah.
So I pulled a 3-star bronze Ultimate Warrior, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Got Ultimate Warrior. The very next pool was a 3-star bronze Nia Jax, and I started wigging out, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, mother freaker, you just got excited you pulled Nia Jax, and when you got Ultimate Warrior, you just like, okay, just another bum.
Oh, you deserve it.
So I ended up getting Nia because I had Lex at 3-star gold, and I was saving to try and make him 4-star. And I said, that was the week that they started doing mixed match challenge. So I said, well, crap, I ain't got a choice. I've got to build her up.
Exactly.
So I built her up to 3-star gold, and now you know what happened. They switched. Well, I don't know if you know, but they switched back now from the mixed tag to now you could
back to regular.
Now you can have the men start the match.
That's what I wanted too. I was like, at least give me that compromise. That was the thing that was killing me. Like having to start with the women first. If they gave me the option of starting with the men, maybe it wouldn't have stung as much. But yeah, that sucks, dude. I'm sorry. All of your resources.
But I mean, you know, it's Scopely's a business, and they got to make, I guess. So I can't get mad at them. I just get mad at how sometimes it gets pretty broken.
Yes, agreed.
Now, could you see yourself ever coming back?
Funny thing is, what it was today, I hopped on to see what it was looking like, and there was no excitement, no thrill, no nothing. It's just after taking such was it like a week off? It feels longer than that. It's like it was kind of like a reset. I think what kept me hooked to the game was like 1, the camaraderie, 2, the competitive nature, and then 3, it literally became a habit. You know, I've been playing it from since inception. So if this becomes like a daily routine, a thing that you do even mindlessly, when you step away from it and then come back to it, is like, why was I killing myself like trying to complete dailies, match gems? So it became at some point it became more of a habit than a game. So I don't know, man. Maybe a little bit longer, I may start to miss it some more, but I don't know. At this point, I'm like good on it.
Well, do you plan on staying? You're planning on staying around on Discord, though, right? And, chatting with people.
Yeah, like I was saying before, I had left because I was detoxing. I had left all the other champion servers that I was in,
Yeah.
but I'm still on the DVO podcast server to stay in connection with like Vengeful and 62 Mass and pop in the lobby here and there. But for the most part, I kind of stay away because it's a lot of champions talk. And right before I left, like my body would have physical reactions whenever I saw like the mention of champions. So I was like, this isn't good. Like I'm becoming
Yeah.
allergic to it.
Well, since you're going into retirement, is there anything you wanted to say to anybody from the game that maybe you'd been holding your tongue on, whether it's a faction or an individual or some debagging versus or a hacker that would always hit you 5 times and win with a 1-star bronze?
No, man, I really don't. Once I vent to like vengeful Calvin, my wife, is like it's whatever. It's water under the bridge. I realize people are people. We all have our own faults. We tend to be blind to our own misdoings. I'm sure that I've been a D-bag to somebody unintentionally. In terms of hackers, if you know how to work the system, they're actually a blessing. What you do is you let them hack you, and then you hit them back a little bit later when their notoriety is higher than yours. So you get an easy kill and you may get like 50 notoriety, 90 notoriety, something ridiculous off of them. But no, I don't have any ill will or bad thoughts or whatever I wanted to say. I just be nice to people because eventually it comes back around in some form.
Well, as you completely leave the game, looking back on this illustrious career, Hall of Fame material, in my opinion, what was your most memorable moment? Was there anything?
I would there's two that stick out. Number one would be when I got tough from the D9 thing. I was really hoping for Randy Orton, but when I saw him I was like, what? No, actually there's three. So there's that one. The second one would be when I got my first 3-star bronze. When I had completed the Shane contract, you get Mr. Wonderful. And back in the day, it was hard to get like resources and tokens and stuff. So actually getting a 3-star bronze was a big deal. There was that. And then it was pulling Sting from a crate. Like, I did not expect that. And I did my whole impromptu dance that every now and again Calvin requests he want to see the Sting dance. But that's a once in a lifetime event.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that happened to me 2 events ago, brother. I pulled Sting and Anvil out of the crates, and I about crapped and peed at the same time. Yeah, it's a good feeling when something like that finally happens. I mean, it feels like a weight has been lifted.
I'm telling you, yeah. So you have all 5 MP trainers now?
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh,
Sting
nice.
was the only one I was missing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a struggle, man. So it's just like everything else, though. You got to move on, I guess. I don't know. My most memorable moment has to be that Sting, though. It's just like you said. It was something that's literally engraved in my head.
Yeah.
I think about the only way I could compare that when I pulled Sting was when I got my very first 4-wheeler.
Oh, okay. Do you go like off-roading and stuff a lot?
Not a lot, man, but I dabble in it every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I know in Concord you probably can't do a whole lot over there. But
no, not at all.
Well, look, I just want to tell you, man, it's been a freaking blast talking to you, and I really appreciate you letting me be able to come on your server and come in your house, man, and just start asking you questions.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
I mean, dude, you're a freaking legend to me. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what kind of crap everybody says about you. You're good with me.
Hold up. Who been talking crap about me?
Oh, Vengeful didn't say a whole lot. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
He loves you.
Okay. That's all that matters then. Okay.
But look, if you could do me a favor, man, could you give me your sound off one more time, just for old time's sake?
Oh, Davey boy.
Y'all heard it. That was Big Double D. And this your boy, Jarvn8ion. Pew, 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 pew. Bow, 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 bow. I really appreciate everything you do, man. I appreciate you inspiring me. I don't care if it sounds cheesy. You inspired me to do it. Maybe one day I'll be able to wear a lucha mask and pull it off like you.
Oh,
But
thank you. You honor me.
If you ever need anything, brother, I'm here. I just want to tell everybody, thank y'all for listening to the Uselessness, voice to voice with my main man, Davey D, the 9th wonder of the world.
Wow. Thank you.
Hey, just the facts, man. Look, maybe we can do it again sometime. I mean, hey, we're not too far apart, so I'll definitely be hitting you up when I head out there.
All right, buddy. For sure.
All right. We appreciate it, y'all. Hey, tune in next time. We're going to be getting it in. Let me hear it, Davey. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, boy. Later, y'all.
Bye.